I'm Dr. Frances Martin, and I'm the archivist at the Mattituck Museum. Today, we're going to ask an archivist. Question number 1. What is a typical day like for a museum archivist? Well, that's kind of the beauty of what I do, is that no day is ever the same. Some days I am simply working with the collections, meaning I'm putting them in acid-free folders, acid-free boxes, and organizing them so that people can access them. Other days I'm helping other members of the curatorial department with their projects, including but not limited to exhibitions. How do you stay organized with so many items? One of the great and organizing things about an archive is its finding aids, which basically is a detailed inventory of a box and a folder within each collection, and then they get really neat descriptions, a little bit of historical and bibliographic and biographical information, and so yeah, finding aids are the key to the archival kingdom, as it were. Number 3, why don't archivists usually wear gloves? When you wear cotton gloves, you lose dexterity, you lose feeling, you lose sensation in your fingers and your hands, and so you're actually more likely to break or tear or otherwise harm the delicate historical items as compared to clean hands. Clean hands, soap water. Make sure that you are not harming the documents, your oils, your dirts don't transfer. The only exception to that is whenever there might be something harmful to the archivist on the items, such as green arsenic dye, which is a whole other can of worms. But yeah, that's why clean hands over gloves, except in certain situations. Grossest thing you found in the archives? I think gross is very subjective. I have found desiccated or really dried up nutmegs. I also found a rather gross polyester wig, which I think had the strongest reaction. Otherwise, I have found dried up plants, leaves, flowers, which gets a little gross. Yeah, sometimes it's just plant matter, sometimes it's very gross plastic polyester wigs. So you never know. Moving right along, what is the most significant item in your archive? Ooh, significant for who? The land deeds collection, which dates back to the 1600s and goes into the 19th century. Basically, it's a collection full of property deeds and property maps, and some of them include indigenous land deeds, indigenous land treaties, and I think that that's the most significant portion of the collection, and it's very cool and very sad for a variety of reasons. What's the most interesting discovery you've made? Ooh, the most interesting discovery that I've made is actually an indenture contract from 1665, and it's not on paper the way that we would understand paper today, but instead it's on vellum. It's on dried animal skin, and we can still read it. It's in Old English. It's very, very cool, and I think that's one of the most interesting items in the collection. But that's like trying to ask me what, you know, my favorite animal is or my favorite pet is. It's hard. All right, so do you have any rare or unusual items? I have in my archive an alleged she Bible. Now, I don't know if it's actually a she Bible. I've not been able to authenticate it, but in the 15th and 16th century, at one point, someone misprinted a word in the Bible, which is in Ruth. Instead of saying he went out into the city, it says she went out into the city, and so it's very rare. There was only a few of these printed. Allegedly, it's a she Bible. Again, I haven't actually been able to authenticate it, but I think that if it is in fact a she Bible, that would be pretty rare and or unusual. Ooh, this is a good one. How can the public access the Mattituck archives? So the Mattatuck Archives are open to the public by appointment only. So if you need something or want to know what's in it, you email me or call me and we can set up an appointment and you can do research or look to your heart's content. You just gotta call me, gotta email me. That's how you get them. What's your favorite item or collection in the archives? I'm very partial to the photograph collection. It's one of the largest collections. We have over 100 boxes of photographs. And my favorite item within that collection is the Women's Motorcycle Club from the 1920s. There's a beautiful photograph of all these smartly dressed women in front of City Hall with their motorcycles and I think a police officer. It's really kind of cool. So I think if I had to choose a favorite, that would be my favorite collection and my favorite object. Can you share a story tied to Waterberry's history? However, since I was recently in this collection, I do appreciate the Waterberry 300th story celebrations. They did a lot of really fun things with the community. They had the No Shave fundraiser. They had the Mattatuck Maidens. They had this really cool like history of Waterberry play. And so I think the ways in which Waterberry commemorated its 300th anniversary was really very cool. And then last but not least, any advice for pursuing a career in archiving? So I took kind of a different route from most. I have a PhD in history, and I did a lot of interning and a lot of working at archives while I was pursuing my degree. And so I got a lot of experience hands-on with the archives without actually getting a Master's of Library Science. Getting experience in the field that you want to get your experience in is always a good idea, keeping your options open, and really just asking questions and trying out new things. So that was Ask an Archivist. I am Dr. Frances Martin, and you can find me at the Mattatuck Museum Monday through Friday. Thanks.